Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, Home Buying 101. That's right, your fixtures. If you missed part one, part two, this is part three. So the links will be down below in the description to catch up on all of those because the materials matter and your fixtures. You need to know whether you're buying a used home or a new home. You need to understand your fixtures and the quality, and this will help reduce your maintenance and upkeep along the way of a brilliant home ownership plan. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because there's people that do not know what they are out here doing. They are about to spend their life earnings, the most expensive purchase in 90% of the population's life, and they are fumbling bags. They are making their lives a lot more difficult, and we're here trying to alleviate the problem. Know what you're buying. Make sure you go and check out everything, and then you have another professional, an inspector, go check out everything as well. But it helps if you have the knowledge. We're over here on the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page, podcast page. So I want to also thank you so much, all of you who are members of the channel. And YouTube is kind enough to show a few of them. And it's nice if you decide to become a member of the channel. You hit the join button over here on the middle of the screen on the right hand side. And under the community tab, members receive special messages per month. They also receive under the community tab the links to get into the live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on Wednesday night, the wealthy Wednesday night live stream, only members of the channel can be in the live stream chat room. That's just for starters. So once again, thank you everybody for being a member. Thank you everybody for subscribing. And if you still haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click the all notification bell, and share with your friends. We're here for the OCs, ordinary citizens. All right. Here we are back at Brookfield Residential. The link to this page will be down below. We're in the internal fixtures phase. Some people disregard their plumbing, their electrical, their HVAC systems. You don't pay attention. And you don't pay attention to insulation. There are degrees of insulation of quality, just like anything else. There is always degrees of quality. So keep in mind, here's what we're talking, fiberglass. Fiberglass installation or fiberglass insulation can last several decades, often exceeding 50 years when, the key word, undisturbed and properly installed. I myself, I have other quality that I want. I don't want fiberglass. Cellulose insulation typically lasts 20 to 30 years. How long does your home last? How long you plan on living in your home? You're going to have to do something with your insulation if you choose cellulose, right? Ensuring it remains dry can help prolong its effectiveness. Noticing there's maintenance and upkeep for the first two, right? Undisturbed, properly installed. Those are factors you need to be concerned with. My favorite comes up next. Spray foam. High quality spray foam can last 80 years or more when installed correctly, as it forms an airtight seal and is highly durable. That's what I'm talking about. I buy a 20-year-old home and I go up in the attic and I see fiberglass. I'm like, damn, how much is this going to cost me? Okay, I see a 20-year-old home and I see spray foam in the attic. I'm like, when did they put this in? This house is 20 years old. Oh, we good for my lifetime and maybe even my kids' lifetime. But the point is, that's a long time. Mineral wood is a whole nother ball game. Rock wool. I haven't never seen this in my life. Let me know if any of you have mineral wool or rock wool in your installation. Insulation. Mineral wool can last 100 years with correct installation. Who has mineral wool or rock wool? Let me know. I've never seen it as far as I know. But that is awesome. So this is another quality product that you could be using with correct installation. So that we'll have to hear about. Hopefully somebody has this insulation in their house. HVAC systems that I told you early in part 1, part 2, do not, I repeat, do not disregard annual service at least. All right. Proactive maintenance of your HVAC system can improve its longevity. This is exactly what I've been giving you, OCs. This is what you have to find the records. If you buy a used home, this is things you need. You need to ask the previous owner. Well, you can't usually talk to them, but at least a realtor. Do they have records of service for their HVAC system? All right. Changing the air filters regularly and tune-up service can prevent damage and save money in the long run. On average, your furnace should last 15 to 20 years. What did we tell you already in part 1? And your air conditioner, 10 to 15 years. You guys have heard me talk about this for years. 10 to 15 years, your AC unit's going to go out. If your house is already 10 years old and it has not already been replaced, then you probably will be replacing them. And they have went up from around 5,000, 4,000 just a shoe 5 to 7 years ago. You could be at 10 to 15,000 for replacing an AC unit. And some people have more than one, which is another thing altogether. Custom homes, semi-custom homes, they usually have first floor, second floor. They could have 2 levels of AC. So again, there's nothing to play with. And when your house is 20 years old, maintenance and upkeep, you need to know the records and you need to know when it was items were last replaced. But we've talked about it. Plumbing, no difference. We talked about this already. Plumbing pipes are essential for your home water supply and draining. Notice water supply and draining. Their lifespan will vary based on material used. We already went over this. Copper pipes last the longest. But also copper pipes, kind of hard to work on these days, especially with intricate type of housing, pulling out insulation, maybe some wiring. You just never know. So the PEX lines up and you can actually, it's a little more flexible. It's almost a flexible PVC, so to speak. That can last up to 50 years or more as they are less likely to crack or break. And that's the 2 best ones, in my opinion. Galvanized steel pipes have a shorter lifespan of around 20 to 50 years, and they can rust over time. They will. Cast iron, well, that's even nicer. Primarily used for drainage, cast iron pipes can last 50 to 100 years if maintained properly. The reason why I'm going over this, because a used home buyer and a new home buyer, is because you now have a guide. The link to this page will be down below. You have a guide, so you know if you go in and buy a house that's 30 years old, you know now what you have to go through and go look at everything and see if there's any records of anybody doing any new upgrades or doing anything over the last 30 years. If you don't have a record and you can't figure it out, the odds are you're going to have to do all these repairs. And it's not cheap. Homes are not cheap. And do you want to pay an additional $100,000 in the next 2 or 3 years once you buy a home? No. Right? So again, electrical. Properly installed wiring can last 70 to 80 years. But electrical components like outlets and switches may need replacement sooner. They do. Older homes may have outdated wiring that requires upgrading for safety and efficiency. Homes built in the 70s, 80s, don't even have the grounding for the circuits. So now you have to update them, right? There's all kind of updates. And from 20 to 30 to 40 years later, there'll be an update again. But again, you need to know if the updates were already done. Sometimes you can do it by sight. You can go to the panel, your electrical panel, you can see and tell it's been updated. Sometimes you can just go to some switches and things in the wall and you can see. But if you don't see any upgrades in a house, then you might have to do upgrades. I'm just saying, this is again a guide for you. Electrical panels, here we go, typically last 25 to 40 years. You bought a 30-year-old house. You bought a 25-year-old house. How many of you have electrical panels? Go out and look at them. If your house is 25 or 30 years old, and then go look at the new construction electrical panel, and you're going to be like, oh, this is totally different. So again, upgrading to a modern panel with circuit breakers is often necessary to accommodate increased electrical demands and ensure safety. Remember, your wiring has an expiration. Remember, wiring degrades over time. So not only do the outlets and switches degrade over time, the wiring degrades. Everything degrades. Let's just put it that way. It's man-made, so it degrades. All right? Now, that is part 3. We're going to make a part 4 because how to increase the lifespan of your home. Make sure you check part 4 tomorrow because this will be your end-all be-all when we get to part 4, or you can skip ahead and you can download this page in the description boxes down below on the podcast page, on the YouTube channel page, and other places. So once again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for watching. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm trying to alleviate some of this heartache that indefinitely comes up down the line. A new home, you live in it 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, you will have upkeep. How much is it going to cost to replace your AC unit in 15 years? Nobody knows, but I can guarantee you it won't be $10,000. How much will it cost to replace shingles or tiles on your roof in 15 to 25 years? I don't know, but it damn sure won't be $5,000 or $10,000. So why not get the better qualities? And that's why some people have this upscale luxury, because I would rather buy a home that has better quality materials inside that lasts me longer instead of a cheaper home that I know all of a sudden I'm going to have all of this extra expenses I'm going to have to do starting at year 10 or year 7 or 8. So those are the differences. So why not pay the extra 100 if I know the materials and appliances that I get are longer lasting? Just a thought. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.